We have presented you with a number of ridiculous ideas for upcoming projects, but I believe that this one will utterly surprise you. Take a look at the brand new floating metropolis that has been constructed in Saudi Arabia. Look at Pangas. Despite the fact that you would have anticipated that this would be nothing more than another island that was created by humans and is now afloat in the water. The futuristic-looking water-treading metropolis that has been proposed would really take the form of a turtle ship that would navigate its way through the water. In order to build this giant turtle metropolis that floats in the water, it will not be an inexpensive option. It is estimated that the ship will cost more than $8 billion to build. After taking one look at it, I can tell you that the cost of this project will far exceed that estimate. If the construction of this city doesn't end up costing at least $10 billion, I will personally foot the money for your vacation to Turtle Island. The launch of the project is set for the year 2033, and they appear to have the expectation that it will be finished within the next 8 years. If we fast forward to the year 2041, do you still plan on being here? That doesn't seem very likely to me at all. Yeah, common municipal construction projects frequently face delays of several years. Something in my gut tells me that a floating mega yacht city will almost always be running behind schedule. They have a flawless method to get the cash necessary to stay up with that $8 billion pricing, in case you were worried about their maintaining that price. They are basing their funding decisions on the metaverse because when one thinks of achieving financial success, the metaverse comes to mind. That has only suffered a loss of $9.4 billion. It's a brilliant idea, guys, and in case you couldn't already tell from the fundamental layout of the place, it's supposed to seem like a massive boat that's capable of devouring any other yachts that get in its way. They are literally christening this vessel the Terra Yacht, which will be the largest boat ever constructed by a significant margin. The width will be 2,000 feet, and the length will be 1,800 feet. This would absolutely decimate the record that is currently held for the world. This is the Azam that the vessel used to achieve its record-setting performance. It is 590 feet long, which, before I saw the pages, seemed to be much longer than it actually is. First, let's take a look at how it operates, and then we'll see what the results are. The spacecraft will be compartmentalized into a few distinct parts. The vessel's foundation will be composed of 30,000 distinct cell types for various functions. They termed this kind of floating solution for the ship an unsinkable floating solution. Although I have to admit, after watching Titanic, I would be petrified to set sail on any ship. According to the designers, it is completely resistant to the effects of energy. Surprisingly, the big luxury turtle boat is touted to be fully eco-friendly in its construction. There will be a roof over it. Solar panels are built into the hull of the ship, giving it the potential to generate some of its own power. In addition to this, it will get its power from the depths of the ocean. As it travels, it will be able to draw electricity from an energy source that is even more environmentally friendly: the ocean. Everything will be geared toward accomplishing the big goal. There are 9 engines that use superconductors that operate at high temperatures. This will move it ahead at a maximum high speed of 5 knots in the center of the large city, are all of the conveniences of home. It will feature parks, shopping malls, grocery stores, movie theaters, resorts, beach clubs, and probably a great deal more than we can even conceive about at this point. Even airports will be built on top of the spherical shell of this structure. They will have terminals that appear to lead back into the vessel itself and curved runways that run over the top of the turtle. In addition to that, there are landing sites available for helicopters. There is a good chance that those will be different from the official ones. Used for moving about various supplies, this ship will continually require personal helicopters and other transportation options for passengers rolling in rapid succession. Rich people who fly about in helicopters, while the rest of us take cabs. My research has led me to conclude that there are 2 distinct courses of action that might be taken with regard to the accommodations. You can do things the way they have always been done and rent an apartment for yourself. Within Pangas itself, the primary housing options can be found in one of 3 areas: the body, the head, or the head and body. Then there's the shell, of course. Let's start with the body, shall we? Even though we have no idea what these will be like, I have a very decent estimate about what they will be like. I assume that, Just like in any other city, you will be able to find a cramped and little room for a relatively low amount of money. On the other hand, the value that you receive does not justify the price at all. The number of separate units is expected to exceed 30,000, according to the reports. They had the capacity to house nearly 60,000 individuals altogether. There are also rooms available for flippers. The breathtaking panoramas more than justify the effort required to reach them. There will be 69 brand new housing units in addition to 19 vistas. Please put your flippers down. And last but not least, there are shell spaces. The rooftop shell residences each have their own private terrace for a total of 72. At one end, each of them would gaze out over the ocean, while at the other, it would overlook the downtown area of the city. Even though I'm very certain there's one more location that we haven't been shown yet, it's possible that these will be the primary ones that are publicized. To the head, knowing yacht culture as well as I do, I'd say there's little question you'll be able to pick up a gigantic luxury apartment that's additionally more expensive. A hidden mansion hidden away in the middle of the floating city. You can bet that they'll have a luxury apartment in the top floor of the head. Everyone will want to spend all of their time inside their own heads. The vast yacht metropolis will also include areas or slips for you to keep your own private boat, which will allow you to maintain a degree of mobility while simultaneously increasing your level of comfort. Therefore, Tara, you should bring your Subaru yacht so that you can hang off of this like the young tortoise that follows his father around in Finding Nemo. Having said that, the choice will be yours to make. My best guess is that it will be around the same price as renting out the entire Turtlehead penthouse for yourself. It's not that the concept of residing in the shell of a gigantic turtle doesn't appeal to me, just the contrary. Why, exactly, did they decide on a turtle out of all the potential animals to use? It's interesting to note that this enormous floating city has both a foot in the present and a foot in the past. There is an old myth, or more accurately a collection of myths, that the planet as we know it is actually carried through space by the back of a gigantic turtle. That might strike you as pretty insane right at this moment. When compared to other theories that people used to have about the Earth, this one is not the least plausible. Simply look up Hollow Earth theory on Google. The fact that this myth did not originate in just one region of the world is one of its most recognizable characteristics. It was known to have existed in India, as well as among the indigenous people of North America and China, all on their own without coordination with one another. Therefore, not only does it represent the past, but it also represents the coming together of people from various parts of the world. It turns out that playing turtle was a fairly smart decision. If you hadn't realized it previously, the other historical angle comes from the name of the place. Pangea, often known as the enormous supercontinent, was the source of inspiration for the term PIOs. Around 175 million years ago, give or take a year or two, all of the continents began to separate from one another, even though everything, including the educational system. Despite this, I would have continued to construct my floating city on the back of a gigantic dragon. Tell me you wouldn't have moved there right away even if it had been available. I believe that when all is said and done, the primary reason they chose the turtle as their emblem was due to the fact that it is a ubiquitous symbol of tranquility and sage advice. The design of a turtle is one that's easily recognizable, pleasant, and makes you feel at home the moment you go inside. I can well believe that they considered a great number of potential configurations for this item before settling on one. A gigantic fish could seem a lot like a gigantic shark. The massive wolf might be too terrifying to approach. I believe they considered other options before settling on the turtle. They went through at least 30 distinct kinds of animals in total. Despite the fact that Turtle City is without a doubt amazing, I am eagerly anticipating the arrival of the Cloud City that Lando Calrissian and Star Wars have promised. That's all for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel Luxe Haven, and don't forget to hit the bell icon.